Welcome to Tent Talk, the podcast with Nancy McCready, where we talk about life under the big tent of God's presence and the provoking process of discipleship. Here we go.
Here we go from Legnica, Poland. We are about to depart and head to Lublin. But since Saturday, if you're listening in real time, since Saturday, we have been here with many of our dear friends and partners that we have known for years and worked with together, shoulder to shoulder, and watching their, continued journey with the Father, how they're walking with others, opening doors for the Father to increase in all that his heart desires, right here in Legnica, in Rybnik, in Łódź, in other places, and then to also connect with new people that we've just met, as does happen when you have a conference that gathers in people from different nations. So we've been able to visit with folks from Austria, Ukraine, and the UK, and to deepen in those connections. However the Father may have chosen for us to interact or to partner, collaborate. And so we always want to honor the timing of God. And you'll know that you're getting outside the timing of God when you feel driven, when you feel like, oh, I wish I'd said this because that would have gotten their attention. Oh, why did I forget to do that, or if I don't go to this place or have this meal together, I might miss an opportunity. And you find yourself plotting, scheming. I did use that word. And you may not even realize it in the beginning because it may seem so righteous to you because, I'm just furthering the assignment of God. Doesn't God want me to connect with people? And well, yes, and the Father has already chosen who you will connect with. And so you don't want to be out trying to get the attention of people, to win people to yourself, or to live in rejection because you weren't at a certain place at a certain time. Because if you make it happen, my friends, then you're going to have to carry the weight of it. If you, quote, made someone like you, then you're going to have to keep them liking you. But when you stand and live and function in the favor of your Father, it means that you have finally broken, probably multiple times. He has clipped your selfish ambition and the pace of it plenty of times, because you begin to realize, what am I doing? Why would I be doing that? Why do I think I have to help God in those things? And this is so important that we live as his sons in his favor. For it is he who chose you, picked you out, set a place for you, brought you to his table in Christ, has already given you every promise and blessing is already fulfilled in Christ. And you begin to, as you mature, you begin to realize, for me to think I have to make something happen or to be upset when it doesn't happen means that I don't think my Father has actually made provision for his own work, that I'm left on my own and I have to make my life happen. Can you hear that? It's just chock full of the disappointment of your life. Nobody in my life made things happen for me. Nobody set me up for success. I've had to make everything happen myself, right? So this is where the Father begins to connect current frustrations with early frustrations in life. and he begins to build a bridge. And sometimes we may be very aware of things that are currently happening, but we have never connected it with our early patterns and strongholds and experiences. Or it may be that you're very aware of your childhood, but you do not see how it is deeply affecting you today. So there are many ways that the Father begins to get our attention. And sometimes I think there's nothing quite like being in a group. The group dynamic is so interesting. When I'm with my friends, with the people that I feel confident with, that I know I have a place within that group and we function very well, and then you, whether alone or with this group, you get into a larger group dynamic. Whether it's a party, whether it's a conference, whether it's a retreat for your, office, and you've gone away on a working business, weekend, whatever form and shape it may take, what do you think about the group dynamics? That the minute that you go into a certain kind of experience, it can trigger so many things. I feel so insignificant when I'm in this place. I'm not the most popular person in the room. No one notices me. No one responded when I spoke. All of these things. No one picked me. No one invited me to the other smaller events of things. And when these things begin to show up, again, it's always important to remember that if old thoughts are coming at you, my friends, they're not your thoughts. If you're new and something old starts to try to operate, that should be your first clue. Okay, it's old. I'm not. So hold on just a minute. But because it can feel so familiar to you, it easily slips on like a old, comfortable, straitjacket, right? Because, former bondages used to be our comfort. So even though they really weren't of comfort to us, not really, they gave the illusion of comforting us, helping us to escape, helping us to endure, helping us to persevere, helping us to survive, but not really. Right? Because those are not the same as really fully living with the Father. And so if something is old, that's your first clue that it's not of you. The new man does not live trying to create a destiny, for himself. The new man has the confidence of Christ in him. Everything about the new man is of Christ, because you're born of Christ. You share in his mind, you share in his nature, everything. And so that's our first clue when those old insecurities or the anger or the resentment or the isolation, all of those feelings which originate from the thoughts that may be swirling about. And to be able to say to the Father, Father, I care nothing about anything other than that which is of you, from you, for you. Right? Because you don't make a life for yourself. He has made a life for you. The attention of another person doesn't make you more valuable. You don't have to catch the eye of someone. You don't have to be clever in conversation. You don't have to share the last 12 revelations you've had in 5 minutes. You don't have to, be large in the room. There's a way the Father has of getting you comfortable in your masterpiece skin. Right? That's the new man. And then you can live in your own, earth skin, your actual body, with great comfort, moving freely about wherever you are. And sometimes he'll allow you to know this on a much smaller scale as he increases your visibility, or you're in many rooms, and you did not get yourself there. You meet people and you're like, this is interesting that paths are crossing at such a time. And if you've walked free for quite a while, then you get into let's say, a new room, a new level, new connections, and you feel that old snake slime coming, okay? The old insecurity, the old, oh, why did I say that? And you find yourself going over and over conversations that you had and all of those old ways. And you're just like, oh, I never, ever want to live in all of that again. Father, thank you for letting me see that again, because it was offering itself to me. Yet I know that I have no desire for that. You see, my friends, you're born of the Spirit, so your real desires are of the Spirit. When those fleshly desires and all that fruit of death working in you, insecurities and this and that. Because guess what? What if your charm works? What if you do get the attention of everyone in the room? You can be sickened by that also. Do you really want to have to win for yourself? The attention of others, those kind of connections. No, listen, this is the favor of our life from him. The favor for our real life. Remember, you only have real grace for your real life, not your pretend life, not a pretentious life. Only that which is real and true from him. Because it's for him. He wants the two of you to move as one. He's already accomplished everything. But then he comes back and says, now let's gather up that portion of Jesus' victory in this hour of history right now. Right now, in these places, with these people, in your family, at your home. Let's live that out now. And when this hits you at a new depth and you go through a new set of circumstances that kind of heightened all of that, you have the opportunity to learn in very real time. Father, I'm with you, and I'm staying with you. And when you feel the flourish of the old, my friends, remember, that's not you. Those aren't your thoughts that, love people if they love you and resent people if they reject you. My friends, that is not the new man. It's not possible. That's not in the nature of Christ. Therefore, it's not in your nature, because you share in his. And this is where the thinking and meditating with the Father is very important, as he debriefs with you. He debriefs with you. You come through something and you're like, Father, I'm kind of embarrassed in the way that I carried myself and conducted my business. And he may say to you, and well, you should be. I'm telling you, the Father has a humor that can set you free. And be aware that sometimes he speaks to you in your own cadence, your own humor, if you will. And I'm like, Father, what was I thinking? What were they thinking? He's like, do you want to know? he said, let's talk about this for a while. Get you a cup of coffee and and you think with him. Now, not overthink, not anxious thinking, not for condemnation and to, shame you. No. He says, let me show you what was going on. And this is a part of the wisdom of the Father that can come to the sons. And it is a part of the maturing process, no doubt. So I thought that I would share that with you, because when so many of us are growing up, and this is continual, and group dynamics, I find, really can stir your old caricature self. If you were class clown, it just kind of ignites something. And later you may think, why did I do that? I had no desire to do that. It was like it habitually kicked in. All right, so I'm hoping that I've shared enough examples that this could help you maybe to recognize things that go on inside of you. But the Father wants us comfortable in our masterpiece skin and who we really are, who He has made us to be, to Him first, and then in our interactions with others. Because the Father places deposits in you for others. He would give you for other people's lives. And if you're over here operating in a whole nother system of interactions and all of that, you miss who He was wanting to connect you with, what He wanted to accomplish in certain conversations, because you didn't count certain people as important in the room. Or let me put it this way, flesh does not consider certain people of any value whatsoever. And we want to be those. Maybe you can hear the sounds of Legnica right now. Can you hear it? As I'm looking out my window at the early morning, as sun is coming up, can you hear the sirens? Yes? And this is the real life, right? This is the real life that goes on when we do Here We Go episodes. Because when you're in a city, you get a feel for the city. And when you're in groups, you get a feel for the things that are going on in groups. And we want to make certain that our ear is inclined to the Father at all times. So again, I hope that might give you some insight into things that go on when you're in group dynamics. So we are departing today for Lublin. And so we'll be probably traveling, I think it's like 5 to 7 hours with a stop for lunch maybe, or, to get petrol. I am turning in my car today as we drive right back through Wrocław, and I'll just drop off the car in the airport or at the airport. And I just want to report that driving the car here was just like driving the car in America. Right, the street signs might look different. It's by not miles per hour, but, kilometers. And it was a great car. There was a learning curve, of course, because anytime you get in a new car, you have, where are the signals? Where are the brights? Where are the, how do you get the GPS connected, for navigation, all of those things. But I was really glad to do it, to have the ability to be able to do that it afforded us to be able to be in the Netherlands and Legnica, rather than having to skip Legnica altogether and go from the Netherlands and straight into Lublin. So I'm always grateful for those things. And so I just wanted to say, I'm really glad that I did it. And now I hope it becomes a normal part of my movement in Europe. Now, the UK might be different. I might rent the car, but Alex might be driving it because that would be learning to drive on the opposite side of the road. And that I don't think you can do when you're on a short trip, maybe. But it's in the future. And I certainly want to be open to it, and I want to be ready to do it if necessary, whatever the learning curve may be, whatever it may require. Because the Father works our muscles out many different ways when we're willing to go new places, be with new people, do new things, if that's what the assignment requires. So I'm so very glad that I'm able to share these things with you today on the Here We Go episode from Legnica, Poland. And I want to certainly encourage you as our year-end giving initiative continues to move along. I want to thank everyone that gave on Giving Tuesday. I want to thank everyone who has continued to give. And I look forward to sharing much more with you as our friends and partners, and hopefully future partners, that you can see the depth and the breadth and the height and the width of what the Father has given NMM to do. We've had many conversations while we've been here with people who have already decided to be with us at the Producers Way School Oxford edition 2026 next year in 3 different nations, 3 different groups at each nation or nations. And it's a large undertaking, but we are finding the grace and ability for it as we move through, because it is what the Father has us doing. It's not the only thing, but it is certainly a major thing of deep, deep interior preparation. And that Oxford is a place for load-bearing ones who are carrying the building materials for what the Father is about to do, but they must be able to cross over. That's a part of what the Oxford is in its meaning. It's a ford in the river where the oxen would cross over. It was a low place of great humility. So no matter how long we've walked with the Lord, it's time for us to go low with Him and let Him prepare us for what He is about to do. So we've had conversations with those who have already decided to be with us, and conversations with those who are in the midst of making their decisions. So we thank you for your giving and encourage you to do so at the greatest steps that the Father leads you. And this way we are able to head into all of 2026 and knowing that we've seen a portion of the Father's provision, and then we continue on. So we will share much more in the days ahead. I look forward to our time together next on Here We Go from Lublin on Wednesday and Friday, as we'll be there for a few days. And then on December 15th, the Monday that we will fly home, it will be recorded either at Warsaw Airport or at our hotel in Warsaw. And so I look forward to the rest of this trip and sharing with you all that the Father is doing and unfolding. So I love you all. Until next time.
For more information on Nancy, please visit nancymccready.com or follow her on social media at NB McCready.